Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Tisha Oliphant, born and bred in South Africa, and a blessed Sunday to you all. And if you've always been in this home, thank you for always joining. Thank you for liking, sharing, for watching the ads without skipping them, because that is how the rank venue in YouTube is made. And thanks for also interacting. I get a number of people that leave comments, awesome comments, no bad blood, and it is heartwarming. So this is part two. Previously, before I went on holiday, yes, in the Garden Route District, I had a live where I spoke about traveling being an extreme sport. It is indeed, because you can plan all you want, you can have all your ducks in a row, but when the day comes, in most cases, whether you've prayed, whether you wished for the best, things can go wrong. And we did share some of the points, and this is to just raise an awareness, is to say, hey, when you travel next time, be aware of these challenges that you can face so that you can plan well ahead and you can plan better. So that's the purpose of these two videos. So this is part two, where we say traveling is an extreme sport. And welcome to the person who just joined, and thank you for liking. So we spoke about delays, unexpected delays due to different issues while traveling. It could be weather, where you find a plane cannot take off, or delays on your side, where you find that you did leave your hotel room, or where you were spending time, whether with families or friends, or left your accommodation, and along the way there could be an accident, and that can delay you. And by the time you get to the airports, yeah, it can really mess you up. And you ought to be there way earlier, so that you don't go through losses that are associated with traveling, especially when you encounter delays. And people that know normally say Murphy's Law. So things tend to go wrong at the time when you pray and plead that everything should be okay. So also remember that in terms of this wouldn't fall under extreme sport per se, but it would be extreme to your pockets, that meals are quite expensive at the airport. So it will help you if you eat well ahead. Eat your breakfast if you booked at a place where breakfast is offered and you've paid for it anyway. So take advantage of that instead of getting to the airport and you're looking for restaurants, because I promise you, most probably gonna pay 4 times the amount that you would have paid in the city, in town, or in the rural area, depending on where you are traveling at. And traveling can be an extreme sport when you find yourself that you didn't even get time, or you completely forgot to charge your phones, and you get to airports and you're walking around looking for charging ports. Some airports are not as big as others, so they vary, and you'll find when people are sitting occupying those charging ports, and you're like, can I just be able to charge so that I can get updates in terms of my travel? Because you find Uguti, you want your phones, you want your laptop or your iPads to be charged. So to avoid that, I personally would make sure, would say, I take a power bank. But that could also affect you if you are traveling. So traveling really comes with a lot, more especially when you are boarding a flight. Hi, Shabalala, I see you. So there's also incidents where you might find yourself losing a boarding pass. Guys, maybe before we get to e-boarding pass, let's talk luggage. There are people who don't have scales, and I really encourage you to invest in a travel scale. I should have brought mine, where you can, it's a portable one, you can just go on one of the online stores and search the luggage scale, and it will show you what it looks like, and it helps. Once you've packed, you can then take your scale and weigh your luggage so that you don't now also get more stress and just trigger your anxiety when you get to the airport and you find that you've overpacked, you've exceeded the required limits, because we will then see you on the floor with suitcases opened. And if you're not accompanied by a friend or family member or a loved one, then how do you return those stuff? You end up losing them or having to donate them involuntarily at the airport. So always avoid the extreme sports when it comes to luggage yako by ensuring that you weigh your luggage, you ensure that it is within the required limits. And when you book a flight, all that information will be provided to you, and you ought to read the terms and conditions. As long as they look, I'm saying they are long, take time to read them so that you minimize this involvement, your involvement in this extreme sports. When you get to the airport, you find people, if it's a couple, they end up arguing. I told you not to buy this. I told you not to pack this. Women like to pack heavily, and you find that the guy only has a backpack, and now it's delaying your flights, and you do not want to lose your flights because you overpacked or your bags are weighing more. And apart from that, if you don't leave the stuff behind, you will have to pay extra. And paying for a luggage at the airport, those who travel know it's more expensive than when you've paid for it online. So online, you find that it's 50% less, but at the airport itself, while you're checking in, can cost you double that amount. So please take care of yourself. Avoid unnecessary stress. And then there's also this, you'll find yourself participating with this extreme sports of traveling or boarding a flight when you lose your boarding pass. So once you are issued with your boarding pass, while checking in, take care of it. Even your travel document, check it all the time. I've got a video where I done one of those challenges where, is my passport here? Okay, is my passport still here? You check and make sure your passport is still in your hand luggage, and you take care of your boarding pass, because if you drop it while running to a boarding gate, oh goodness gracious me, you will not be able to board that flight. And if you are a person who gets to the airport last minute, getting issued with a new boarding pass could take time, and that plane could be just taking off, and you really don't want to sweat. Yeah, it is an extreme sport. You can wear the most expensive makeup, but by the time, or expensive perfume, by the time you sit down in your seat inside the plane, you feel as though you were playing tennis or you were running a comrades marathon. So take care of your documents. And excuse me, other documents that are crucial are those, if you are a asylum seeker, and you need to produce extra documents, permits, work permits, have a folder and have everything in one space so that you're not all over the show. Traveling with a plane is very stressful. Reduce the stress by planning better. Whether you're someone who doesn't like planning and asivayeni nje with things that are not properly planned, it will really set you back when you travel by plane, because a lot is required and your full attention is required, and a lot of walking takes place. So time is consumed or taken from you while you move from point A to point B, B to C, and so forth, until you get to your final point, which is your actual seat when the plane is then about to take off. So Remember, there's also there are many security restrictions that can drain you while traveling. You find that people are wearing a heavy jewelry. You need to remove. You've got a hat on. You need to remove. Some airports, they go as far as remove your shoes as well. So when you travel, plan better. Make sure you wear comfortable clothes. Make sure it's clothes you can take off much easier and easily so. And if you've got a belt on, be proactive as you are approaching a security check. Just remove the bag and put it in a tray. Put your laptops, take care of them as well, because I know my daughter lost her headphones in that sports a security check. So you also don't want to find yourself with a spoiled travel, whether you're traveling on leisure or business travel, because you just lost some of your items. Some people help themselves, because you know, as those trays move, there's people omunye phezu komunye. We are close to one another. We are panicking because a lot is going on there. So if you've got a hat, remove it, and just don't look suspicious, and walk with confidence, so that you don't need to go through pet downs and all that. So you know, no water or liquids are allowed in a certain limit. So if in those times of sanitizers, it had to be 100 mils and below, and places are different. But drinking water, like these water bottles, you drink your water or you just drop them in that bin, because if you put your water inside, they're gonna scream at you, they're gonna tell you, ma'am, can you move that? Can you move that? Already you are anxious, already you've been walking, you're worried, you've been stressing a night before you traveled about leaving that particular country or your own country of origin. So don't invite unnecessary things and make this extreme sports even more or extra extreme. So leave things at home where, more especially if you're not gonna need them. If you're gonna need them, pack most of your things in your check-in bag. It is much better than your hand luggage, because your hand luggage has restrictions, and do check what is allowed in that country. And remember, traveling can also be an extreme sport when you are a bit late because of whatever reasons that we've already spoken about, and you find long queues. I would suggest you request people to let you pass. Show them your boarding pass and say, please, my plane is taking off, my plane is taking off, the gate is closing. People do understand. Yes, you're gonna find people who's not gonna buy that, who's gonna be finicky about it, to say we also all rushing, why did you come late? But do not miss your plane if it was something that was out of your control. You know, you left your accommodation or your the place where you were staying early, you prepared well, you took your Uber or your bus or whatever mode of transport that got you to the airport, but life just happened. Along the way there was an accident, along the way this and that happened, you realize you forgot something at the hotel, you had to drive back and all that. Just ask people with Ubuntu to allow you to go. That normally does help, more especially when you can see. Always look at your time. Don't lose track of time. And you see, go to this long queue, I won't make it. And we know 20 minutes before the plane takes off, the gates closes. It doesn't matter whether you are a president's daughter or son, you will not be allowed to board. So be aware of that. And there's also normally delays in immigration, because oh guys, traveling can be an extreme sport indeed. When you get to immigration, especially when you land in a foreign country, then those documents are required. Then there could be delays there because they ask you so many questions. Sometimes you end up not knowing, oh, will I even go through? Will they allow me to visit this country? What if all the money that I paid, my time, goes down the drain? Be prepared when they want to know why you are going into their country or why you're visiting their country, answer honestly, and you ought to prepare yourself. And they will also ask, how much do you have, how long you're gonna stay, and the amount of time you're gonna stay in that country means the longer you stay, more money you need. And other countries has limits. If you go to certain cities or countries rather in Europe, they will tell you if you're going to spend so many euros per day. So do check, do prepare so that you don't get to the immigration side and when you are questioned, you say, I only have 500 rands, and yet each and every day you are expected to have at least 200 euros, so that you answer correctly, you answer with confidence, and you are allowed into that country. There's people who are rejected to enter a country. They've got a right to do that. Sometimes you find a immigration officer who's going through life, and they take it out on you. Others, they ask valid questions and you are unable to answer them. So to avoid this extreme sports to really take a toll on your financial being and your body and your mind and soul, prepare, know your story. Know your story, know the rules of that country. Don't go to immigration casually as though it's those who are South Africans, it's the South African immigration. You are coming home. When you are coming home, it's different. No questions asked. Instead, you'll hear welcome home. Ooh, which is so amazing. And another, yeah, guys, we all, if you are a frequent traveler, I want to check if I can come across a photo of what I want to discuss now. The last thing you want is to get this on your boarding pass. If your boarding pass looks like this, die Poppe Sal dance. That is Afrikaans in South Africa that says, boy oh boy, now you've got questions to answer. So guys, I just want to see if I can find a boarding pass. What did I write here? Give me a few seconds. And thank you for liking, thank you for joining. And I just wanted an image. Let's see if we can expand. If you get a boarding pass that has that SSSS, always look at your boarding pass after it is issued. It means secondary security screening selection. Secondary security screening selection. So if your boarding pass comes with this 4 S's and they are normally circled or they are in red, I think in most cases they're so visible, like this. This is an economy boarding pass, and at the bottom there, as you can see, you don't want this, because what does this mean? The secondary security screening. The word says it all. Selection. You've been selected amongst other travelers, like, yeah, your ancestors turned their back on you. Basically, that's a better way of explaining it. You will go through security screening. So it means you're going for a pet down. And those who've had a pet down, you know how uncomfortable that is. And it can, yes, it really violates your personal space, because you are now touched everywhere going down because of that SSSS. So that can make you feel uncomfortable. That can throw you off a bit, and leave a bitter taste in your mouth, but you will have no choice. You will have to be screened. And it could also cause delays in terms of your traveling, more especially when they do a pat down and funny hooters are showing, and you find it's something that you are wearing, or like us with dreadlocks. We normally, when they are not styled, and when I travel, I like to leave them, loose and like that, because there's people who used to, the using the dreadlocks. You could easily be regarded as a high risk traveler and find yourself with that as 4 S's on your boarding pass. Check your boarding pass. If it's got those S, know that, oh my word, I don't need this. And I must say, I traveled for over 7 months and I didn't come across any 4 S's. And thank you, Lord. Thank you to my ancestors. I didn't even find myself being pet down in any of the airports, and it often doesn't happen like that. So it means you look suspicious, or your behavior when you were monitored through their cameras at the airport looked suspicious. So that is something else that can throw you off when you are traveling. And that is why I say traveling, I just want to see, is an extreme sport, because if they pat you down and they need to put you in more machines and they need to call other securities to check, security personnel to check that there's nothing suspicious, or maybe there's a lady, if you are a lady, there's a lady personnel, the security, a female one is not available at the moment. You need to wait while because I'm saying a lady, while she pats down and screens someone. And if you are already skating on thin ice in terms of time, your flight or your gate might close. So hence we say traveling is an extreme sport. And I want to share this because I want this video to be very short, and after all, I've got a meeting. After these 2 meetings, I'm mentoring someone for an hour. And guys, do remember, I do offer mentoring sessions, and yeah, it's a fee every hour, and then I've got a business meeting before that. So I want to prepare for my business meeting, and then after my business meeting, I've got a mentoring session. And thanks to everyone that do book my mentoring sessions. As I guide you through life, I also learn a lot. I want to share this and say to you, there are times when we book flights early hours of the morning, and some people are not morning people, or they just still waking up because your flight is leaving early. And I did talk about that. And you get to the airport and you have to deal with this. Take your laptops and electronics out the bag. You got a hoodie on, take it off. Take it off. How many times I get touched? Take your laptops and electronics out the bag. You got a hoodie on, take it off. Take it off. How many times I get touched? So if you've experienced this, so these are some of the things that you might experience, while you are traveling and you boarding a plane, or you are flying to another country, where you get to security and you find this security personnel screaming on top of his voice. And they say it happens in most airports in the US, and I think this video was taken there. And to be honest with you, I've heard the noise, but not to this extreme. And I think it was one airport, not even many, where they will just go off. But there's countries where you just get to that security and they personnel, the security person, is screaming on top of his or her voice and saying, "Why do you move that side? Stand straight and make sure everything is on the tray." So be wary. Be wary and prepare yourself mentally and psychologically so that you don't end up disliking flying, because there's people who prefer to take a bus or drive, because the experience that's associated with the admin that comes with flying, they just cannot deal with it. Their nerves, their health side of things find it tough to deal with it. So there's a lot that's going on, but I would encourage you to still travel. I would encourage you to still, if it is your dream, and I always say this, and I think you are here because this content, traveling content, investment content, business content resonates with you, and career content. So you can't be here if I don't know, maybe you come for one of the things or that I've mentioned, or contents that I've mentioned. But if your dream is to travel, don't let anything stand on your way. Don't let even that screaming security that you might find early hours of the morning, and you're like, honestly, now so early, can this guy just calm down? What are we gonna? Don't let it deter you from traveling. Go out there, go see how beautiful the world is, and you will have stories to tell. You can even start in your own country. You saw my previous video that I uploaded where I was traveling in my own country, and it felt so awesome to be a tourist. I like to say that. I know I don't qualify, those words are not, they're not correct. To be a tourist in my own country and explore within the borders of a beautiful country such as South Africa. So these were some of the points that I just wanted to highlight why I say traveling is an extreme sport. And people say it takes an hour to get, I'm trying to think, is it an hour to get to Durban or less? And what they don't understand is that once the doors are closed, you know how they say, what do you call these ladies that, oh, how can I a hostess gets paid when the doors are closed. So I always say it is quick to travel by plane only when the doors are closed. But the whole shebang that comes with leaving your house and getting to the airport as early as possible and finding yourself dealing with so much is really hectic, but it is worth it once you are sitting at your seat and the plane is taking off, because definitely you can save so much time compared to someone who took a bus or drove or took a train to get to the same destination. So yeah, this thing of flying is quick should be said with caution, because yes, planes get us to where we are heading to much quicker, but be wary of the admin. Prepare better. Care for yourself. Have everything in one place. If you don't need some of your things in the hand luggage, don't put them in the hand luggage. Don't carry 3 hand luggage if you only required to have 2 pieces. Read and read properly. Then traveling for you would still be an extreme sport, but not as extreme as it can tend to be. So you will only have to deal with issues or problems that are beyond your control, such as flight delays. That is beyond you. There's absolutely nothing you can do. But where you have full control, try as much as you can to prepare better. And if you are like me, you do claim VAT, you do shop in a country, and you have to you try and get to the airport early to claim VAT. Get there much earlier, because then you have to deal with 4 queues if you're not gonna check in. It's a VAT claim queue, it's a check-in queue, it's the immigration queue, then it is security control queue. 4. So if you don't have to claim VAT, you only have 3. If you do a self check-in, which is awesome, I did it a lot than having to stand in those long queues. Go to those machines, scan your passport, self check-in, check in your bags even, and then get your tags, put them on. It is easy, guys. You just read the screen and you follow instructions, and then you only have 2 queues: immigration queue and the queue, your security control queue. So all the best, and if you'll be traveling soon, do let me know where you'll be heading to. And if you need any tips, or you are anxious, you are unsure, I might not have been to that country, but traveling is traveling, believe it or not. I might be able to impart some knowledge to you. And also, please do drop on the comment section, do you think, now I'm talking your personal experience and personal opinions, for you, is traveling by plane an extreme sport or not? How do you find it? What exactly puts you off that comes with traveling by plane? Yeah, whether it's flights, or the airport itself, or the queues, or please do let me know. I will truly appreciate it. And thank you for liking. The likes are liking very much, and they looking good, and I truly appreciate. And may you have an awesome evening as I go and prepare for my next meetings. And remember, traveling by plane can be an extreme sport. And stay blessed.